What's up, guys? Producer TCustomz with TCustomz.com. Today I want to talk about arranging your hip-hop instrumental, into a song structure. That way an artist can take it and use it to create a song. I got a couple comments, messages on Facebook and YouTube asking me, how do you arrange your beats? I see you do the beat making videos. I'm just starting out as a producer, a young producer, and I don't fully understand as far as the song structure. I will say that there are definitely standard and default arrangements that you would use, I guess, depending on the type of music that you're working on. Specifically in hip hop, you've got normally 16-bar verses, 8-bar hooks. Those are replicated, and then maybe a bridge breakdown after the second verse. Some older arrangements, you just had 3 verses, 3 hooks, and just went through those for starting out to arrange your beat, figuring out how many bars do I need for a verse, when do I need change ups, how many bars for a hook, when do all these parts come in. I mean, the standard formats are available online. You can look those up. I mean, they've been around forever. It depends on the style of music too. Like I said, sometimes with pop, you might have an 8-bar verse. Maybe you go into a pre-hook and then a chorus. Sometimes you just have an 8-bar verse that goes right into a hook. One of the things today in 2013 is the attention span level is so much lower than it was. And so having shorter songs, shorter verses, maybe hip hop songs before were 16-bar verses, and now they've shortened them to 12. And even some hip hop tracks, you might have 8-bar verses depending on the style of track or what artist is using it. So definitely understand the standard formats for tracks, but then also don't feel confined to those. I find that sometimes when I'm working on music, I just kind of let it take me where it takes me. I'll start on a sequence. Say I'll start with an 8-bar sequence normally, and then if I feel like I need to add more instrumentation to that particular sequence to kind of build it up to the next section, to the second half of the verse, then I'll do that. Or maybe I'll just go straight to another totally different sequence, and then maybe that will be the hook. And then so I'll expand maybe that first sequence and do some other variation, maybe change some of the percussion, hi-hats, do some dropouts, do some things like that to kind of make it, vary it. And then sometimes I don't necessarily stick to a 16-bar verse structure. Sometimes I don't even have a hook. I'll have an 8-bar sequence, then I have another 8-bar sequence, and I'll just go back and forth between them. Depending on the type of artist that you're looking to bring in on the track, usually when I'm creating a beat, I have a vision for the type of MC or artist that would go on the track. Maybe I already have a concept for the song. You may not always need to have a definite hook. And another thing as far as people's attention spans, there has to be a lot of stuff going on. There has to be a lot of changing in your instrumental. If you're shopping it to an artist and they listen to it for 45 seconds and there's not really anything changing and going on, more than likely they're going to skip it. Even though at that 50-second mark there was some crazy hook and extra instrumentation you added, they're not even going to get to that because you didn't keep their attention for that first section. Something that I've done before is I've taken a standard arrangement, and what I mean by standard arrangement is I have, say, a 16-bar verse, 8-bar hook, 16-bar verse, 8-bar hook, and then I'll go into a 8-bar bridge. So maybe you want to keep that original version that you had, that original arrangement, and then also make it an alternate arrangement where you have, say, an 8-bar verse. And then after 8 bars, it transitions into the hook. Instead of 16, you already into the hook after 8 bars. And then 8 bars, go ahead and transition into that bridge. So that way, within the first minute of the song, they're already hearing the full capacity of that track. They're already hearing all the elements. Otherwise, they may only listen to the first minute, and you haven't introduced that bridge, and they've already skipped the track and gone on. So it's good to have that arrangement, that original arrangement, if someone wants to record a song, and then also maybe you want to experiment with having alternate arrangements and make both of those available. Maybe make the one that's shorter and condensed, make that one available for listen, and then if the artist wants, the full song to record a full verse and everything, you can give them the other arrangement. Another thing I use to help me arrange my instrumentals into full songs is also using industry acapellas. And what you can do is you can take acapellas from major rap artists or whatever type of music you're working on. You find acapellas from these type of artists that you feel like would sound good on your track, and then put the acapella over top of the instrumental and just see how the structure from that acapella matches up with the structure of your beat. That will give you some more guidance. So in addition to using an acapella for an instrumental or song arrangement, and also get a sense for what type of artist is going to sound good on that track, Obviously, you can use acapellas for remixes. The great thing about remixes is that remixes are songs technically, so they appeal to a wider audience than just instrumentals. You know, I'm a producer, so I love to listen to BCDs. I love to listen to just instrumentals, and you know, learn from just listening to instrumentals. But your average listener doesn't do that. So with the remixes, it kind of gives you an advantage and expands your listening audience. So here's a look into a session that I've been working on. It's got two main sample sequences. I took the first sequence and actually expanded that into 16 bars to make a verse, and then the second sequence was used for a hook. And so once I got the track, you know, I got the main verse and hook, what I did was I put an industry acapella over top of it to kind of get a better idea of how to arrange it further. And again, I already had a basic idea of how I was going to arrange the track, but having that acapella, having that vocals already in there, it helped me to, you know, to take certain elements away at certain parts, to, you know, add certain things. And this isn't necessary. You don't need to do this. I think it just gives you a different perspective on the track. But anyway, so got an intro. This was the first sample sequence that I came up with. The instrumental, and then I introduced the acapella. So anyway, these are just a few things that I keep in mind when I'm arranging my, my instrumentals into a song format. Hopefully, you know, this offers some insight. It was helpful in some way. If it was, you know, make sure to comment, like, subscribe to the channel, and, you know, share. I'll catch you guys in the next video. Happy beat making. Peace.